look good.
It did. No, it doesn't look good. And you know what? I wasn't one bit surprised. I mean, not that I predicted it or anything, but it just I always had this feeling about Ben Franklin. The more I read, and they weren't necessarily, negative things I was coming across. It's just that he seemed to love just what the New World Order does, which is, or the Illuminati, which is to wield the power from behind the scenes, you know?
Yeah.
He was always there, but he really didn't lead a whole lot. And he liked to play emissary, you know, back and forth and stuff like that. So, which gives him power of information, right? And he can twist that information and then get the outcome that he wants. It's just that kind of stuff. Hey, we were going to talk about bloodlines. What are your thoughts on, you know, the Old Testament? I mean, it's obsessed with the bloodline, purity, bloodline, and then we have the same sort of thing with the elite that's, you know, got all the money on the planet now and throughout their history.
Yeah, I hold that there's something to it. Exactly what is the question? There has to be some sort. Remember when we did the show? Was that yesterday? I can't keep my days straight. I got so many shows going on and everything. About the heart transplants and whatnot. Yeah, yesterday. You know, you wonder. You know, there's an obsession and dark rituals with drinking each other's blood. You wonder if there's something similar to the whole heart transplant idea. You know, you take someone else's piece into you, the heart, and you become them in some ways. Mm-hmm. You wonder if there's something like that to the blood. You know what I mean? Because
yes,
it does. When I was in my dark ecstasy period, I'll just give some personal information here.
Sure.
For you know, certain things, everybody would have to remember that. You know, those are some of the first shows I did when I was co-hosting, 4 or 5 weeks ago or something. And things just came into your. It was just so weird how things would just pop into your consciousness. You're like, you know, you're in this mode of dark ecstasy, this dark Buddhism, inverted Christianity, and inverted pure Buddhism, and you wonder, you know, you sit there and think, why does that thought or that obsession come into my soul, into my consciousness? I don't know if it'd be your soul, but your consciousness for sure. You know, and one of them was just this obsession with drinking people's blood, to be honest. I mean, I never did anything like that. All mine was just on a level of thought. There was never any action, because I quickly figured out, well, it took a little while to figure out that there's something not right here. But, I mean, it's a state of ecstasy, so you don't necessarily want to figure out that there's a problem, because it is quite, in a dark way, happy, in a very sadomasochistic way. But, you know, I just wondered why that would pop into my consciousness. But to get back to your point, the whole idea of there must be something powerful to it, and I suspect that our show yesterday is tied to it. There must be something about the blood. I have some ideas, which I've done some research on, which I don't think I'm ready to share right now because I need to check into it a little bit more. But there may be some components to it which do sort of give people a spiritual ecstasy when consuming each other's blood. So the blood, in other words, is extremely important, and maybe that's what's behind, you know, the blood sacrifice. Maybe I've been thinking also, John, in response to what you've been saying, maybe there's two types of blood sacrifice. There's the one on the side of Christianity, and then the one on the side of the dark forces. And as with everything else, you know, I just separate meditation and spirituality into two camps, the light and the dark, and I really mean that. You know, really light and really dark. Maybe it's the case that with the blood ecstasy, there's two types. There's the inverted one, which has to do with the Dark Masters and the Illuminati spirituality, the Nephilim spirituality, and then maybe there's the one of the light, which has to do with just this infinite love and compassion that the Creator is associated with. So I don't know if I'm helping you out here or helping you out as far as giving you food for thought, but give me your take on any of this or any of your thoughts.
You know, when we're talking about blood, I guess for the listeners, since most of them are based, at least in their youth, with the Old Testament, right there is the first. I mean, at the beginning you have this. These, of course, Stitchem would say alien beings, but you have these fallen angels that breed with women of Earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, if what I'm thinking is, it really starts there. The gene pool started there, and when I think about today, how the New World Order is absolutely obsessed with everybody's DNA.
Yeah,
folks,
exactly.
If they could get your DNA today without much of a fight, they would do it. But they're inching up towards that. And I believe the reason why is because if you have a propensity to enhance this through ritual or something, then you can be demon possessed or something along that line. There's a spiritual element to it, but it's not just spiritual. It is about blood too. And I just think that there's something to it. It doesn't mean that we can't overcome it with free will and spiritual truth. It just means that we might have a fight on our hands coming down the road. And maybe they want to eliminate everybody that doesn't have the strain of DNA that they do. I'm not sure. I haven't figured it out either, but I think it starts there and it's coming to an end, and I think that's why the dynasties throughout all these ages are obsessed with carrying on the bloodline to the point to where they, interbreed and stuff, and it doesn't seem to bother them one bit.
But don't you think that I'm a big proponent of the idea that the Nephilim masters of this world, whether they're in this dimension or not, you've really got me sort of on that they're in another dimension idea. But even if they are not, they control the world regardless in whatever ways they do. Don't you think that they have and are just hiding all this just incredible technology that just goes so far beyond anything we could dream of? I gave some examples of why in my Illuminati or the Nephilim film. And it just seems like, if they wanted to mess with our DNA, they could just create certain kinds of instruments, which, DNA is apparently, it's molecular, so therefore it's going to have a lot to do with sound and vibration. So they could just create DNA guns and things that could just shoot at us, shoot the vibrational frequency and just will change us, activate certain genes and deactivate others. And don't you think that they would, it seems like peewee technology compared to what they could really do?
You know what? I have never shared this. I told my wife over the weekend that I wanted to bring this out, along with all the other things I am on my thoughts. And it is this. Okay, I've never met a banker that I can't stomp his rear hide flat. And either have you guys. Yet the bankers control nations. Our government, here in Kansas, they are going to raise taxes, income taxes, folks, in the middle of this depression in order to keep things sustained. Okay, it's absolutely insane, but why are politicians so obedient to bankers, folks? It makes no sense. Rothschild, all of them, the IMF, all of them, the World Bank. How could you be afraid of these guys? So what? They have maybe a secret army. All the nations of the world could come against them and stomp them, right? No. I think the reason your congressman and the president pay the bills through you, overtaxing you every time, because all this money is being printed by this elite banker group, cartel, and they're saying now you're going to raise taxes and you're going to pay us back. They don't care if it's 10, 20, or 50 years. They want their money. And I think the only thing that makes sense is that they have technology